There is an intriguing story at the end of Perashat Beha that couldn't be more significant or more timely. We read that Miriam and Aharon speak words against Moshe, alodot ha'isha hakushit asher lakach, about the Cushite woman whom he married. And we wonder, what is going on here? We know he married Sipporah, and it seems here he married a second wife. What were they complaining about? Furthermore, they go on and say, did God speak only to Moshe? Didn't he speak to us as well? There are many explanations given to this by the commentaries, but following Rabbi Yosef ibn Kaspi, we can follow the simplest one, which is that they were offended that Moshe took a foreign woman, not only because she was foreign, but something specifically about her being from Ethiopia. And we wonder, can it be that they were offended by the dark color of her skin? Was this perhaps the first recorded instance of a racial slur? Well, there is a hint that that just may be the case, because Hashem comes and punishes Miriam with skin disease, sarat, and it's described as her skin becoming as white as snow. A kind of measure for measure, saying, Miriam, are you offended by the dark color of Moshe's wife's skin? Do you like white skin better? Well, here you go, here's white skin. If this is indeed the case, we learn something very significant, which is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has zero tolerance for judging someone just based on something as external as the level of melanin in their bodies. And so Hashem says, this is not only wrong, but it's actually, in a way, also blasphemous, because everybody's created in God's image. And that's such an important lesson about how careful we have to be the way we speak about individuals and about people. And there's a second lesson here as well, which is that Miriam's real complaint is about she and Aaron are older, and yet Moshe seems to be getting a higher level of prophecy and says, who is he? And so we see that when she does put down his wife because of the way she looks, it's really just hiding something about her own anxiety, her own sense of inferiority. And very often when we see someone insult someone else, based on the way they look or where they come from, it's because they actually feel inferior about themselves, but this is an easy, artificial way of propping themselves up by putting someone else down. And so we see that really a racial slur only hides something about the person doing the insulting themselves. And so here's such an important lesson to think about and be careful the way we speak, because the way we speak affects the way we think and the way we act towards others. And instead, we should make sure to stop insults right as soon as we hear them and make sure then that they're not repeated. Instead, we can do something that I heard this week, an amazing story that happened in our synagogue. An example of not sinat chinam, not baseless hatred, but ahavat chinam, baseless love. One of our members lost his brother this week. And as usual, our synagogue sent out a memo giving the phone number of the person that's sitting Shiva. For the purpose of the story, we'll call him Victor. And so I called the number that we had sent out, and a woman answered and said, I'm not Victor, I'm not related to the family, but I can give you Victor's number. And I thought this was strange. I said, what do you mean you're not a member of the family? Whose number is this? And she said, well, I live in Manhattan, my name is Nikki, and it seems that the synagogue sent out the wrong number. They got a digit wrong. And so after a couple of calls, I figured it out, and I tracked down Victor, and I've been sending anyone who calls to him. I said, first of all, I'm so sorry for your trouble, but that's quite amazing. I mean, I imagine that lots of other people would be quite annoyed at having their number published wrongly. And she says, it's no problem at all. In fact, I've been getting, she said, so many wonderful text messages and voicemails. And it seems that this person who died was such a good person, just such a good man. And I wanted to make sure that Victor doesn't miss any one of these beautiful messages. So I've been forwarding to him all of these words of all of the words of consolation and all these beautiful stories. And I said, wow, what an amazing and inspiring thing to do. And so you see here, instead of repeating insults or putting other people down, here's someone who I have no idea what her identity is, where she's from, what color she is, what she believes in. But here's someone who, a stranger, she hears a compliment, she hears a beautiful story, she says, I want to share it. I want to make sure that other people know about it as well. And so let's think of these two stories and try to commit ourselves to making sure that we always say nice things. We stop insults in their tracks and make sure other people don't say them. Instead, we say and we repeat words of compliment, words of kindness, and words of peace. Shabbat Shalom.